Hi there, welcome back to the Apatros review. This episode, The Incredible Hulk, the 1977 TV film pilot, available on this disc. Hi there, welcome back to the Apatros review. I'm your host, Mila Sipka, and join me as I'm taking a ride through the wild world of science fiction, action, and horror, all from a personal DVD collection. A whole heap of DVDs, plus a few Blu-rays, videotapes, video games, TV shows, and books. Now, in this episode, we look at the film The Incredible Hulk. No, not that Marvel film that came out like a decade ago or something. I'm talking about the 1977 TV pilot, which was directed by Kenneth Johnson and was released in Australia on DVD, a number of episodes on one of these. My copy's an extra rental. Now, that disc was released with a few other selected episodes from the series around the time of the rather controversial Ang Lee theatrical feature Hulk. Indeed, some parts of the supplement for this disc are marketing materials for that film, as well as certain episodes are also released on various other DVDs around the same time. I'm only reviewing the original pilot due to not the second season one, which is also included on the set, due to my personal rules. Anyway, the Incredible Hulk is one of the classic superheroes of the Marvel canon, and also the most unique. Essentially, he's a human named Bruce Banner, who in the comic book history was exposed to intensive gamma radiation after a special bomb was detonated nearby, giving him a unique mutation that caused him to transform into a giant, almost indestructible and insanely strong green-skinned mutant whenever he gets extremely pissed off, the physical manifestation of his anger. The Hulk is also the only superhero of the Marvel canon to have a successful TV series, live-action TV series made in pre-millennial times. Indeed, the late 1970s and early 1980s TV show The Incredible Hulk was one of the most successful TV superhero shows in history, and its enduring cult popularity has made it a cult icon in TV superheroics of the 20th century. Now, the basic premise of the show is simple. In the pilot episode, David Banner is a doctor who, in the pilot episode, was researching reports of people suddenly getting superhuman strength to help them get out of dangerous situations as part of a personal mission to understand why he was unable to save his late wife from a fatal car crash. A tire blew, the car flipped over, and Banner couldn't get the doors open in time. A mission that is affecting him greatly. One day he comes across a discovery that all of the candidates he interviewed had a special mutation in their genetic code that, when exposed to transient gamma radiation in the sun's rays, gives them temporary super strength. The discovery takes on a whole new angle when, upon examining his own DNA, Banner discovers that he has the same mutation as well. Desperate to prove that this mutation is key to his personal quest, Banner sneaks into one of his colleagues' laboratories, straps himself into a chair hooked up to a gamma radiation projector, and gives himself a frighteningly large dose of gamma radiation. So frightening given that Banner set the dosage on the wrong setting, giving himself a ridiculous amount of gamma rays, enough to kill an ordinary person. But Banner survives unaware of how much gamma he copped from old lady Gamma. He drives home from work, but a tire blows out. Trying to change the tire, Banner hurts himself and gets really pissed off in that way that anybody who's ever tried to change a flat tire would experience. Yeah, I was the same way when I changed my first flat, believe me. This causes him to transform into what can only be described as Arnold Schwarzenegger of leprechauns, given the sense he's big green and all, and promptly wrecks his car. He goes on an angry spree through the woods where he startles and then saves a young girl from drowning, and after getting shot in the arm by the girl's father, tosses him into the lake. Nobody dies, and the Hulk shortly afterwards transforms back into Banner. Banner makes his way back to the home of his workmate, Elena Marks, who secretly has a crush on him, and tells her the story, although he cannot remember what he did as a Hulk. After finding out just how much radiation he received from his little experiment, Banner has Elena lock him into a pressure chamber and test out his Hulk nature. But if you're not a comic book fan and were first seeing this back during its original premiere, you'd think that the Hulk is dangerous. Well, not quite. The Hulk, while being an angry giant driven by blind primitive rage, is still driven by Banner's personality. Banner is not the killer type, so the Hulk cannot kill anyone, at least not on the show. I'm not a comic book fan, so I cannot say what happens on the original page. Only from the people around like this, like he's Steve Reeves in an Italian Peplum feature. A tabloid reporter named Jack McGee pays the scientist a visit and accidentally causes an explosion that kills Elena, and the Hulk gets seen by McGee. Banner is believed to have died in the explosion when in fact he survived, but needs to lay low in order to buy himself enough time to undo the curse he gave himself. The rest of the episodes follows the pattern of Banner walking to any one of a large number of small towns across the American countryside, using an alias to get himself a job that pays cash under the counter style, gets pissed off by someone causing trouble, hulking out, then using his Hulk nature to solve the problem before leaving town. That's about it, really. Now, while some critics have criticized the show for being insipid and banal, I personally found the show to be quite exciting for the time. you have to judge a show on the merits it had at the time it came out. Of course, nowadays the wokers, they're just banning old shows and stuff because it doesn't fit to their twisted version of values. Now, for the 1970s TV landscape, The Incredible Hulk was revolutionary and gave children and adults at this time something unique and exciting to the table to enjoy. Watching Lou Ferrigno stalking around in green body paint and what I assume to be a wig, knocking evildoers flat without ever throwing a punch, the producers banned the Hulk from tossing punches due to the belief that since the Hulk's strength was superhuman, he could easily take somebody's head off with a single punch. So that wasn't going to go well with the Hulk's natural ain't gonna kill nobody nature, so peplum tossing was his own combat mode. Now this show was awesome by 1970s TV standards. What made the show so appealing to even the most casual genre fan of the time was that the Hulk was some superhuman manifestation of our inner anger. We've all been angry enough that we feel like tossing somebody out of a third-story window, or flipping a car over, or breaking walls down just to allow us stress. This show does that for us. Although we as audience cannot do the things that Hulk does once a week, watching him do those things that one time a week gives us some relief to allow that stress. It is also highly realistic in terms of the storylines that appear on the show. We don't get supervillains or other superheroes on the show. That didn't happen until after the show in its original run, and they started making telepic spin-offs, where the Hulk teamed up with the likes of Thor and Daredevil. Basically, this was like the first version of Marvel's Avengers on screen. But instead of the Hulk beating up ordinary evil, instead we have the Hulk beating up ordinary evildoers and solving problems for his Hulk smash nature. That, I believe, is the secret to the show's success. As for the original episode, this 1977 pilot was more of an alternate retelling of the Hulk's origins, from a more realistic type of storytelling. Simply a Jekyll and Hyde story about a man with a rare mutation in his DNA that releases the full power of that mutation by subjecting himself to enough gamma radiation that a normal person would be turned to a crispy critter within an hour. But for this bloke, giving him the ability to turn into a green-skinned, angry Christmas postal worker until his anger subsides, giving him a superpower that he's going to use to paint the town green. Jack Coleman is the perfect foil for such a 1970s superhero, a wimpy but stubborn tabloid reporter whose consistent futile attempts to get to the bottom of the Hulk's exploits cause more trouble than he expects. Indeed, it was McGee's accidentally opening of a door in the lab that causes the climactic explosion that kills Banner's assistant and Hulk being forced to go on the run to give himself enough time to undo his nature. Watching the Hulk smashing his own cupboard and saving a young girl from drowning before tossing her father into the lake to teach him a lesson on why it's never a good idea to shoot at giant green bodybuilder pixies in the woods before finally kicking the shit out of a pressure chamber is something that approaches the visually explosive side of primal intensity. So I would give the original pilot a B, 6 out of 10. It's a solid feature all around and a good start to a legendary 1970s superhero show, the one of the best of its type. Now for the gore nudity. There's no gore aside from 1970s TV level bullet holes. Well, the Hulk gets shot in the arm, but he regenerates almost instantly. While Susan Sullivan, who plays Elena Marks, Banner's assistant, spends half the show wearing nice looking tight shirts and no bras. You don't see anything sensitive, but dig those natty threads. Now for the DVD. This Region 4 DVD was issued by Universal Pictures as part of a small number of DVDs where certain episodes will be placed in themed multi-episode singles for backing up viewers' interest in the then upcoming Hulk Ang Lee adaptation of Hulk. In fact, save for the two audio commentaries that the director of the original pilot and season 2 pilot, Kevin Johnson, delivers, the rest of the supplement is purely for the Ang Lee film. I've seen that film and thought it was a load of green Hulk shit. I won't even go into the production mistake where some plush toy versions of the Hulk had a stitching error that gave them erections under their Hulk shorts, the press at the time dubbing them incredible bulk. But as it stands, this DVD package with a nice crisp 4x3 frame includes a Bill English stereo soundtrack but no subtitles. I suppose the Hulk did a Hulk smash on subs when they were coming out. I guess the Hulk isn't the type of person who likes to read subtitles. I doubt he even reads. But the hearing impaired shouldn't complain that much since other episodes in the range do have subs. This is a pretty decent package to be used by the fans. The DVD has a weird design where the first menu you see is simply a choice between which episode you want to play, but pressing the menu button on that causes the menu to show up with all the supplemental material listed on it. Stranger. Due to time constraints, I did not check out any of the supplement and also didn't review the second season part, but I didn't review that part for this other reasons. If I ever feel a need to review the second season part, it might come up, but don't hold your breath on it. If you're into collecting old superhero DVDs, this one will be a must-have, despite the Ang Lee film marketing material on it. So pretty much Incredible Hulk, 1977 TV pilot, gets a B, 6 out of 10. Last time. This is the back. Hope you guys enjoyed that. There's only a few reviews left to go for this year, and then I'll do a couple of special episodes and another D Spectrum at the end of the year. Hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you like these new shades. Actually, I've had these for years. Now it's their turn to come up. I lost the old pair. Hope you guys are staying safe, and that's it for this review.